What's up, guys? Coming in today with a full slate of NBA and college basketball action here on Thursday, February 5th. I'll give you my favorite picks on the side and over-under on each game. We're going to break down the biggest college basketball games of the night. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock. So as a huge thank you to me, take that 10th of a second and slam that like button. It helps get these videos promoted out there on YouTube. It's a big part of keeping me motivated to make these videos and keep them coming out every single day. Also, I am still fairly under the weather, so let's see if we can keep those likes rolling on in. Really does a lot to help keep my spirits up right now when we're feeling pretty crappy. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Check below and see. You may have been watching these videos for a long time and may not be subscribed. We are on the way to 100,000 subscribers this year. Help me make that dream a reality. Also, guys, get down there in the comments. Let me know anything you want to say about these videos, about today's slate, about any questions you have across the sports betting world. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I read and often respond to every single comment I get every single solitary day. So definitely get down there in the comments and make sure you're checking that pinned comment throughout the day. That's where you'll find my favorite picks from the video every single solitary day. Those are the ones I recap every day, and those are the ones that I think are the best bets out there. So definitely get in that pinned comment and check those out. In terms of a recap for yesterday, guys, it's been a little bit of a tough day. The Raptors really crapped the bed there down the stretch. A massive choke job there in the fourth quarter. They get outscored 34-22 to eventually end up losing this game. The team just does not seem to have what it takes when it comes down to the wire whatsoever. We also break down on Seton Hall plus 7.5. The Pirates just could not overcome that terrible first half. They eventually lose by 12, so they still weren't that far off. If they just came to play out of the gates, this could have been a very close game. We did catch Providence there at minus 3.5. An absolutely insane performance from the Friars and a double overtime thriller. They do get the double-digit win there in the thanks to a large production there from Sellers, putting up 36 points. He had a massive day. We got Oklahoma plus 9.5 still live, but that one's not looking so hot. Texas A&M plus 7.5 did come through for us as the dog of the day, though an absolute barn burner of a game, pretty much like we thought it would be. Alabama does get the win, but a 97-100 loss there for the Aggies does get us the cover in that game. Two pretty interesting teams to be watching here down the stretch in the college basketball season. We still have the Spurs live at plus 2.5. We got in on that one very early before all that news broke about the Thunder, so we're in very good shape on that one. They're currently up 11 going into the fourth quarter, or up by 10 going into the fourth quarter, so hopefully they can hold on to that one for us and earn us at least a split on the day. Not an amazing day, but we'll keep right after it. We're going to go ahead and dive in and get after it. So guys, make sure you've hit that thumbs up button, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and make sure you've gotten over to stumpthespread.com. Check out all the premium picks over there. NHL staying red hot, and also make sure you're checking out all the free stuff and getting in on that free email newsletter. Now guys, let's get after it. This is trade deadline day here in the NBA, so maybe tread a little bit carefully. The first game we've got here right out of the gates, we've got the Washington Wizards heading to Detroit to take on the Pistons. The Wizards obviously making some pretty interesting moves. Picking up Anthony Davis was not something that I saw really being part of their journey, but maybe his services weren't that in demand out there across the NBA in general. They're coming off a 132-101 loss there against the Knicks. They did not really do a lot to keep that game competitive. Obviously, they're putting out like a skeleton crew for these games at this point. We'll see what they're able to come up with in this one. Obviously, Anthony Davis is not going to be playing in this game or anything like that, but it'll be interesting to see what this team looks like down the stretch, or not down the stretch necessarily, but probably next season when we got Trae Young back and Anthony Davis. This team does have some talent on it, but right now, not an incredible lineup that they're running out there at the moment. They're going on the road to take on the Detroit Pistons. They come into this game 37-12 on the season. They've won 3 in a row. They're coming off a 3-point win there over the Nuggets. This team is very legit. In that win over the Denver Nuggets, obviously a big-time win. Love we saw from Cade, 29 very efficient points from him in that game. He was a plus 11. We liked what we saw from the bench in general. Isaiah Stewart had 11 big points. We like what we saw from Jalen Duren. He was very efficient out there. Duncan Robinson had a huge game. So a lot of things pointed in the right direction for the Pistons. They obviously making some small moves there, picking up Kevin Huerter. That should be an interesting one. We'll see when he's available to make his debut for this team, see if his shooting can return a little bit. Still dealing with a back issue, so it remains very unclear whether or not he could be making his season debut here. Cade and Tobias Harris are both on the injury report. Cade is questionable due to right wrist injury management, and Tobias Harris is questionable due to a sore left hip. That being said, I do think they are expected to play. Based on the numbers here, the Pistons are 14.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 226.5 in this game. Washington, 9-14 against the spread on the road, 17-18 against spread after a loss, 12 and 11 to the under on the road. Detroit 13 and 12 against spread at home, 17 and 19 against spread after win, 15 and 10 to the under at home. So I actually don't think under 226.5 is a bad play in this game at all. I think it's actually pretty reasonable. Detroit is playing on the front half of a back-to-back, so I'm probably not going to get too involved in, taking them to cover this massive number though. So I'll take a little look at the under and maybe a tiny taste of the Wizards getting all these points. Next on the dock, we're looking at the Brooklyn Nets headed to Orlando to take on the Magic. The Nets are 13 and 36 on the season. They have not exactly been killing it. It's been a brutal year. They're coming off a kind of blowout loss there at the hands of the Lakers, and I mean, we'll see if anything could potentially happen down the, right at the trade deadline for this team. Michael Porter Jr.'s name has come up in a lot of trade rumors. Other than that, I don't know what they would necessarily be doing, so we'll have to kind of wait and see if any, massive changes come in for this team, but we'll have to wait and see. They are healthy coming into this game. I wonder how locked in all their guys will be here at the trade deadline. Even if they are locked in, it didn't really matter there against the Lakers or against the Pistons. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Orlando Magic. They traded Tyus Jones to the Hornets for cash considerations, and the Hornets do receive 2 second-round picks there for the Magic in this deal. They've got 11 first-rounders and 13 second-rounders over the next 7 years. That's pretty wild. The Magic are only 1 game over 500. They're coming off a blowout loss there at the hands of the Thunder. That cannot feel good. Orlando's been one of the biggest disappointments this year. They have dealt with plenty of injuries, but also some fairly ineffective play at times from Paolo Banchero. Bane has not had a great season. Suggs is coming off a 20-point game, but Anthony Black has been very up and down, and missing Franz Wagner for a big chunk of the season has been obviously a very big problem, and they will not have him for this game either. Other than him, they are healthy. We'll see, though, if this is a team that could end up making any sort of trades here around the deadline, although not hearing a whole lot about what the Magic could potentially do. They are 11.5-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 213.5. Brooklyn, they're 12-12-1 against spread on the road, 19-15-1 against spread after loss, 15 and 10 to the under on the road. Orlando is 10 and 12 against spread at home, 11 and 12 against spread after loss, 12 and 10 to the under at home themselves. I'm not taking under 213.5, but I will take the Orlando Magic to get a blowout win and cover in this one. Neither team's playing the front half of a back-to-back or anything like that. Orlando has to be desperate for wins right now. The Nets are not very good. I think we see the Magic take care of business in this one, especially playing here at home. Hey guys, before we jump in and cover the rest of this NBA slate, we got to shout out the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, guys, our premium members are getting daily NBA, NHL, UFC, NFL, and college basketball picks. We have had an extremely profitable run over on the NHL side, and I know nothing about hockey, guys. Those picks have nothing to do with me. That's one of the premium handicappers over there at StumpTheSpread.com taking care of those. That dude knows everything about hockey. He's got ice in his veins or hockey sticks in his veins. I don't know, but he knows what he is talking about. Coming off another very good night. Still need the Stars to come through for us. That would be really, really nice. But catch the Wild, catch the Blue Jackets, and you can see right here or right here, wherever on the screen, what the hockey picks have been looking like over the last 25 or something. It's been a pretty crazy run. So definitely get in there and check that out. Also coming off a nice 2-1 day once again on the college basketball side. That's 4-2 over the last 2 days, cashing Georgia Tech plus 7.5 and Troy minus 5.5 here on Wednesday. So definitely get over there and check out everything we offer at StumpTheSpread.com. It's a great resource for any serious sports bettor. There's also free stuff over there. Aside from the premium stuff, you can check out whatever free picks are posted every single solitary day under the free picks tab. Great value in there. You also got to get in there and get on that free email newsletter, guys. That's been insanely valuable over, for a long time. It's packed full of great sports betting information, not only regular free picks on stuff like college basketball, NBA, NHL, but tons of write-ups on niche sports like UFC, and especially golf has been a massive one here lately, cashing all these plays that you've been seeing on the screen here for a bit. A crazy 30, you don't cash a 33-1 winner very often. That is wild work. That can change your month right there, cashing a 33-1 play. So definitely get over there to StumpTheSpread.com and get on that free email list. It's very easy to sign up. They just want your name and your email address. That's it. And you'll get that email every single solitary day. Also, get over to StumpTheSpread.com and consider picking up a Stump the Spread hoodie. We're selling them right now at cost for $39.99, and that's with free shipping. You can get it in as little as a week. Also, if you're a huge fan of what we're doing here every single day, click that little join button right below the video to sign up for a YouTube channel membership. I owe the YouTube channel members 2 giveaways now after missing our giveaway on Monday. Here in the next couple days, we are definitely going to be doing a double giveaway, and then we'll be back to regularly programmed giveaways on Monday again. So, if you sign up for a YouTube channel membership now, you could be getting in on 3 giveaways here in the next 4 or 5 days or whatever it is. So definitely get in on that. Also, just huge appreciation to all my YouTube channel members. You also get your name up on screen in every video, and you get early access to all my videos. So there's a couple reasons to sign up besides just the giveaway. So big shout out to all of you. Really appreciate it. Make sure you're getting over to stumpthespread.com. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Now, guys, let's go ahead and dive back in. Next on the dock, we're looking at the Utah Jazz heading to Atlanta to take on the Hawks. The Jazz come into this game 16-35 on the season. They've been a pretty active team here in the trade market. Obviously not a team that's necessarily looking to compete this season, but definitely an eye on the future. They picked up Jaren Jackson Jr. They've made some pretty interesting moves here. Alonzo Ball is now technically on the roster, but he will not be, I don't think he's going to be getting bought out here. Keontae George, Lauri Markkanen, Jaren Jackson Jr., along with a guy like Ace Bailey, makes up a pretty solid core. Yusuf Nurkic maybe getting bumped to the bench. I don't know how much he's going to be thrilled about that, but overall, things looking pretty good here for the Jazz. Now, we do see Keontae George and Jaren Jackson Jr. both will not be playing in this game. Keontae George dealing with an ankle issue, and Jaren Jackson Jr. obviously, being so recently traded. So we'll see, what they're able to put out there for this one. Looks like it's going to be kind of the Lauri Markkanen and Ace Bailey show. Maybe some Filipowski and Nurkic mixed in there as well. As they head to Atlanta to take on the Hawks, the Golden State Warriors are reportedly trading Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield to the Hawks for Kristaps Porzingis. It's a little bit weird that they would be trading for Porzingis, a guy that never plays, but I guess they are trading Jonathan Kuminga, who never plays, and Buddy Hield, who never plays. So, I guess maybe that all balances out. The Hawks are fresh off a 127-115 loss there against the Heat. We'll see what Atlanta's able to do here. Obviously, they're not losing anything important, having to give up a guy like Porzingis. He never plays, so that doesn't really matter. Okongwu will be sidelined for this game. That is a big deal. He's dealing with a mouth issue and is questionable for this one. So we'll see. Maybe. I guess he'll possibly play, but seems kind of unlikely to me. Other than that, they are relatively healthy and ready to go. They're 10.5-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 240.5. The Jazz are 12-12 against spread on the road, 7-8 against spread after win, 12-12 to the over-under on the road. The Hawks are 9-14 against spread at home, 13-11 against spread after win, 13-10 to the under at home. No major play on the total in this one, guys, but I'll definitely be leaning a bit towards the Jazz here, getting double-digit points. The Hawks just aren't really blowing anyone out right now. Obviously, a lot of things probably feel unsettled with the trade deadline going on, and missing Okongwu is definitely a big deal for this squad, especially they got to have somebody to match up against Nurkic, assuming that he's still on the team. So definitely give me a look here at the Jazz getting 10.5 points. Rolling right along here, guys, we have the Chicago Bulls heading to Toronto to take on the Raptors. The Bulls have lost 5 out of their last 6 games. Things have not been exactly going in the right direction. They're coming off a 131-115 loss there against the Milwaukee Bucks. Bizelis played pretty well in that game, but obviously this team looks a lot different. Giddey missing time with that hamstring has obviously really shot them in the foot, and he will not be available for this game. The Bulls have been pretty active here in the trade market, picking up Anthony Simons from the Celtics there, losing Vucevic, obviously, but they got Jalen Smith to slot into that spot, picking up Jaden Ivey as well, but unfortunately, we don't expect Anthony Simons or Jaden Ivey to be available for this game. Is that confirmed? Yes, I feel like that's fairly confirmed. I guess it's a little bit still up in the air, so we'll see what happens with that. But Giddey still being out is obviously a big deal for this team as well, and he's going to be missing a bit of time here as he deals with that hamstring issue. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Toronto Raptors, who have the Warriors have traded Trace Jackson Davis to the Raptors for a 2026 second-round pick that's coming from the Lakers. So nothing too crazy going on there for Toronto. They're coming off they fell apart down the stretch there against the Timberwolves their last time out, losing that game 128-126. These are the kind of games you have to win if you want to be considered a serious threat to really anybody in the playoffs. And Brandon Ingram put up 25, Scotty Barnes put up 22, Emmanuel quickly put up 23. You still find a way to lose and get outscored by 10 in the fourth quarter. That is not a good look. They got not crushed on the boards, but lost the battle of the boards. Both teams shot the same number of free throws. If you're the Raptors, you're in losing games where you're shooting 48% from 3 and 53% from the field. That is a really bad look. So we'll see what they can do here at home. They're 8.5-point favorites. We've got a total here of 226.5. The Raptors injury report obviously is pretty key, but it's not updated since they're playing on back-to-back nights. The Bulls, they're 11 and 14 against spread on the road, 11 and 15 against spread after a loss, 13 and 12 to the over on the road. Toronto are 9 and 16 against the spread at home, 3 and 6 against the spread on no rest, 15 and 10 to the under at home. I mean, I'm not in love with this spot, but I think we have to take the Bulls getting the points here, even if they, have like a skeleton crew available. The Raptors are going to be tired. They're not a very good team against the spread at home. I'm just not expecting a miracle here from the Toronto Raptors. I may be a long time before we're back in the Toronto Raptors again. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the San Antonio Spurs, who are going on the road to take on the Dallas Mavericks. The Spurs are actually playing right now. They're up by 8 points with 1:46 left in the fourth quarter there over the Oklahoma City Thunder. So we'll see if San Antonio can hold on to that one, get us the cash there as our lock of the day. Like I said, we jumped in on that one very, very early when the Spurs were getting 2.5 points before that news broke about the Thunder. The Spurs have been playing relatively well down the stretch, not exactly dominating, kind of treading water. I mean, 33 and 16 on the season is not a bad look. This is not a team that I expected to be very active around the trade deadline, and they have not been. Dylan Harper's been, missing this game against the Thunder. Obviously, he's not great, but we do expect him to be back pretty soon. That ankle issue didn't seem too serious. And just in general, like this team, projects to be healthy and ready to go in this one as they head to Dallas to take on the Mavericks, who have been extremely active here, getting rid of Anthony Davis. Pretty wild to see them trading Anthony Davis right after, trading Luka for him. Pretty bonkers. They are kind of making the best out of a bad situation, trying to rebuild here around Cooper Flag, which should, has been looking pretty insanely good. So hopefully that'll all work out. They're coming off a 10-point loss there against the Celtics. They will be at home with a rest advantage in this one. We'll see how this new look team kind of develops. We've got, Cooper Flag, Max Christie, Najee Marshall. Cool. PJ Washington probably going to miss this game. Or no, he's confirmed out dealing with concussion symptoms. Daniel Gafford is listed as day-to-day. He's questionable due to a sprained right ankle. Kind of concerned to see more lower body issues from him. They're bringing over Chris Middleton. We'll see when he's ready to get out there. Obviously, I'm not expecting that to be something that gets super rushed. And Marvin Bagley III also coming over via trade. We'll see when he's able to come back as well. So going to be a lot of moving parts here for the Mavericks. We'll see who they've actually got, ready to go for this one. They're getting 5.5 points at home. We've got a total of 224.5. The Spurs are 12-12-1 against spread on the road, 6-3 against spread on no rest, 16-9 to the under on the road. Dallas 16-13 against the spread at home, 15-15 against spread after a loss, 16-13 to the under at home. You could think about taking under 224.5 just based on the trends for this game, but better than that, guys, I'll just run it back here and take the Spurs to get the winning cover here. They're obviously, going up against a very limited Thunder team that did not have SGA for this game, so that's why you saw that number shift so drastically and why you're seeing the Spurs have a pretty easy time winning this one. Nobody's playing particularly crazy minutes there for the Spurs. Keldon Johnson playing great off the bench, but they're going to win this game despite shooting like 33-34% from three, thanks to dominating the glass. I think they could do something very, very similar to that to the skeleton crew we're going to see on the floor here for the Dallas Mavericks. Heading into the last couple of NBA games before we jump over and cover the college basketball slate, we've got the Golden State Warriors heading to Phoenix to take on the Suns. The Warriors traded Trace Jackson Davis to the Raptors for picks. Cool. We see the big trade here for the Warriors, and I'm going to use the word big in quotation marks. They trade Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield to the Atlanta Hawks for Kristaps Porzingis, unless Porzingis has had some sort of weird breakthrough here with his illness or his Achilles or like whatever keeps him from playing any basketball games. This is pretty much a non-factor kind of move here for the Warriors. Cool, they keep Draymond and Steph. They don't have to, do the bad guy thing of trading Jimmy Butler when he is hurt. But this move gets them absolutely 0% closer to being any sort of a contending team because Kristaps Porzingis does not often play basketball. So I don't think that moves the needle for me here too much. Getting rid of Kuminga, though, is definitely something that needed to happen. The Warriors are coming off back-to-back losses, losing to the 76ers and the Pistons. We'll see what they can put together in this one. Steph missing time is obviously a huge, huge problem. Due to the knee issue, he will not play in this game. That is a massive, massive problem for the Warriors. Porzingis, we obviously don't expect to play, and we'll generally never expect him to play anyway. So we'll see what Golden State can do here going on the road to take on the Phoenix Suns. The Suns are 31-20 on the year. They're coming off a 130-125 win there over the Portland Trail Blazers. A game they let get a lot closer there. at the very, very, very end. But this is a game they mostly, they had to make a big comeback to get this win, but they do take care of business. They do make that comeback, and they get the win. Colin Gillespie putting up a 30-piece monster performance from him. Grayson Allen played really well. He had 24. Mark Williams played great. He had 24 as well. 15 off the bench from Jordan Goodwin. A big, big performance there. So a lot of good stuff coming from the Suns. This has been one of the most pleasant surprises in the NBA this year. Not seeing a lot of noise around the Suns trying to make any sort of moves here. We do see Devin Booker and Jalen Green both missing time. That's obviously not great. Booker dealing with that ankle issue is listed as out for this game. Jalen Green dealing with a hamstring and hip issue is questionable. I kind of expect to see him sit this one out as well. The Suns are 6.5-point favorites in this game. I'm assuming that it was a line that had come out already with the news that Steph was not going to be playing. Yes, it appears that it was. So the Warriors, they are 10-15 against spread on the road, 12-11 against spread after a loss, 15-10 to the over on the road. The Suns are 17-7 against spread at home, 19-11 against spread after a win, 17-7 to the under at home. Guys, I love the Suns here, -6.5. This one will definitely make the pinned comment. Could be the Suns here as our lock of the day. The Warriors have no chance here without Curry unless it's some sort of transcendent shooting performance from all the others, and that feels like an extremely big ask at this point. So definitely give me the Suns here at -6.5. In our last NBA game before we hop over and cover the college basketball slate, we got the Philadelphia 76ers heading to Los Angeles to take on the Lakers. The 76ers are 29-21 on the season. They have won 5 straight games. Things are kind of pointed in the right direction. They did create some roster room by trading Jared McCain, so we'll see what goes on with that. They pick up 4 draft picks there from the Thunder. I'm a little surprised to see the Thunder trying to go out and pick up Jared McCain, but I mean, I think he's a solid piece and can add some shooting for them, so I guess they do need some more reliable shooting, so I guess that does make a little bit more sense. In the 76ers win there over the Warriors, VJ Edgecombe actually led the team in scoring. He had 25. Very good work there from Kelly Oubre, although not his best shooting night. Trendon Watford played well coming off the bench, like we saw from Bona. Quentin Grimes put in some good minutes, and they won this game thanks to really dominating the glass. We didn't see Paul George obviously suspended here, and we didn't see Maxey did play. We did not see Embiid in this game, so we'll see who the 76ers have available for this one. Obviously, we won't be seeing Paul George for quite some time, but it does appear that they will be fully healthy. With the possible exception of Embiid. He's dealing with an ankle issue and is technically questionable for this game. Although going up against a Lakers team that doesn't really have any bigs, kind of seems like the situation where we would see Joel Embiid actually end up playing, which is, he tends to dodge other players at some points, guys that he doesn't want to play against. I don't think there's anybody like that on the Lakers. Now, the Lakers, they come into this game 30-19 on the season. They've been alternating wins and losses here for a bit. They're coming off a pretty comfortable win there over Brooklyn, and they were at the Barclays Center for that one. LeBron played well. Luka played well. Neither one of them had to play super heavy minutes. Austin Reeves being back definitely helps. He had 15 points off the bench. Jake LaRavia had 18. So a lot of things point in the right direction for the Lakers, who have yet to pull the trigger on any sort of, major, any sort of trade really at all. So we'll see what they get after in this one. They are fully healthy and ready to go for this game. Everybody healthy and ready to get after it. The Lakers are 3.5-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 231.5. The 76ers are 16-6 against the spread on the road, 13-15 against spread after win. They're 500 against the spread, or the 500 over/under team on the road. The Lakers are 11-9 against spread at home, 13-16 against spread after a win, 15-5 to the over at home. You could talk me into the over in this game. 231.5 is a pretty big number, but I think both these teams are going to score a lot. And I definitely like the Philadelphia 76ers here getting 3.5 points. You're going to tell me that we're going to see Luka or Austin Reeves or Marcus Smart slow down Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, guys like that. I don't see it. I don't know whether or not Embiid's going to play in this game. It seems like the odds makers kind of think he will not, but things can change with that. Definitely give me the 76ers here getting 3.5 points. Now, guys, hopping over to look at some of the biggest games on a kind of meh college basketball slate here for Thursday. First up, we're looking at the Penn State Nittany Lions as they go on the road to take on the Michigan Wolverines out there in the Big Ten. Now, Penn State, they're only 10-12 on the season, not exactly killing it. They are fresh off a 77-75 win over Minnesota, so putting up a win there. They're 1-10. That's their first win there in conference play, but at least they've got one now. The reward is to go on the road and take on maybe one of the toughest teams in the nation. Overall, this team has been really, really weak on the glass. That's what's really held them back this year. Their defensive numbers aren't great, but they're not atrocious. Their offensive numbers are also not great, but they're not bottom of the barrel. The problem is if you can't rebound, you're going to have a really tough time against elite level opponents. And when you're playing in the Big Ten, not a lot of walkover spots. I'll tell you what, it's a lot of really, really tough teams out there. So we'll see what they can do here. They are going on the road, which is not easy, and they're in a bit of a letdown spot coming off a win. They're taking on the Michigan Wolverines, who are 20-1 on the season. They're 10-1 in conference play. They're fresh off an 83-71 win there over Michigan State. So maybe a bit of a letdown. It's also a look-ahead spot here for the Wolverines as they have Ohio State on deck for their second game against the Buckeyes this year. Game one, they did beat the Buckeyes, so maybe it's not quite as big of a deal in this one, but definitely something to keep in mind here, this being a look-ahead spot. Now, Michigan's been one of the best teams in the nation by any metric. They're 10th in the nation in total offense, 19th in total rebounding, so they should really dominate the boards in this one. They're a good defensive team. Their assist numbers look great. They've got a plethora of different guys that can lead the team in scoring on a nightly basis. So a lot of things point in the right direction here for the Michigan Wolverines. That being said, they're 25.5 point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 164.5. Penn State is 3-3 against spread on the road. They're 13-9 to the over. Michigan is 6-5 against the spread at home. 13-8 to the under. This isn't like the easiest spot in the world, guys, and doing this doesn't feel super fun, but I do think we have to take Penn State getting all of those points. It's just too many points. Michigan is in a look-ahead spot with that game at Ohio State looming. I think that's going to keep them from making this into a total blowout. Penn State, maybe they slightly avoid the look-ahead spot, but you don't have to avoid it by a lot to at least make this a 20-point game, and that's all we need. So give me the Penn State Nittany Lions here playing on the road. Next up, guys, we got the West Virginia Mountaineers going on the road to take on the Cincinnati Bearcats. Now, West Virginia, they're 14-8 on the season. They're 5-4 in Big 12 play, so they've actually been pretty, respectable. I don't have a lot of bad things to say about them. Definitely a team that's taken a step in the right direction this season. They are coming off a 10-point loss against Baylor, and not like Baylor's been world beaters this year, so that's not exactly a great loss. But this team has done some good things. They beat Kansas, for instance. That was a pretty nice win. But, Honor Huff is a decent leading scorer, 16 points per game. Shooting 37% from the field isn't great. This is not an elite level offensive team, around 350th in the nation total offensive production, but their defense is stifling and their pace of play is a little bit slower, so they can kind of make teams turn this thing into a slog, giving up 63.8 points per game. That's kind of tough to do. That is kind of tough to do. So we'll see what they can do here. They are going on the road to take on Cincinnati. The Bearcats are 11-11 on the season and 3-6 in conference play so far. They're coming off a 76-54 loss at Houston, so not exactly keeping that one incredibly competitive. They've already played against West Virginia once this season. They were in West Virginia, lost that game by 2. We'll see what they can do here in a revenge spot. This team doesn't really have a bunch of big wins to hang their hat on. They got to do a lot of work here at the end of the year if they want to be anywhere close to a tournament contention. They're 334th in the nation total offense, so two pretty bad offensive teams in this one. The rebounding numbers for Cincinnati are good. They've got a lot of length and athleticism. Their defense is also excellent. They just struggle to actually put the ball in the basket. So looking at the numbers here, guys, Cincinnati, they're 5.5 point favorites at home. We got a total of 227.5 in this one. West Virginia is 1-3 against the spread on the road. They are 14-7-1 to the under. Cincinnati is 7-6 against the spread at home. They are 17-5 to the under. I mean, I'm not even interested in the side in this one, guys. Just give me under 127.5. I just don't think we're going to see much offense. These teams are both bulldogs there defensively. They play with not very much pace. I think we're going to see a crazy low-scoring game in this one. I could see both teams ending this thing in the 50s, and I would not be too shocked. I do not think there's going to be a lot of fun times had watching this game. Next on the dock, we're looking at the Ohio State Buckeyes going on the road to take on the Maryland Terrapins. Ohio State, they're 14-7 on the season. They're 6-5 in conference play out there in the Big Ten. They're coming off a tough 10-point loss there at Wisconsin, and now they're in a little bit of a rough situation. They got to go to Maryland before hosting number 2 Michigan for one of their biggest games of the season. So we'll see what they've got in the tank for this one. See if they can avoid the look-ahead spot here. They're going to be relying a lot on Bruce Thornton like they have all season long. 20 points per game, 55% from the field. Those are elite numbers. This is a solid offensive team, 78th in the nation, putting up over 82 points per game. Their rebounding numbers are kind of middle of the road. They're not necessarily a great team on the glass, but I do like some of what they can do defensively. They are in a bit of a bounce-back spot. They did give Michigan a real game when these two played in Michigan earlier this season. So we'll see what the Buckeyes can put together here on the road against the Maryland Terrapins, who are having a bad year. They're 1-9 in conference play. They're 8-13 overall. It's been pretty bleak. They've lost 4 in a row, but when you look at who they lost to, it's pretty excusable. Losing at number 11 Illinois, at number 10 Michigan State, and then against number 12 Purdue. That being said, none of those games were competitive at all, so that is not exactly a great look. David Colt leads this team in 15 points per game. That being said, they're 311th in the nation in total offense. They're 250th in total rebounding. Their defensive numbers aren't very good. This team really lacks ball movement or any sort of reliable offensive creator, so not a lot of amazing things for me to say right now about the Maryland Terrapins. They are getting 6.5 points in this game. We've got a total of 151.5. Ohio State is 3-4 against the spread on the road. They're 11-10 to the over. Maryland is 4-6 against the spread at home, 14-7 to the over. Maybe you could talk me into over 151.5 in this game. Better than that, though, I think Ohio State stays locked in here. I will take them to get the win and cover here over a Maryland team that has really just been struggling. Maybe they'll do a little bit better here against, obviously, a weaker opponent than what they've faced over their last 3 games, but not really expecting any miracles from this Terrapin squad. Last but not least here, guys, we get the Memphis Tigers going on the road to take on the UAB Blazers. Memphis 10-11 on the season, 5-4 in conference play out there in the American. They're coming off a 78-76 loss to Tulane, though, after a blowout win over FAU. They really just kind of crapped the bed against Tulane. They do lose by 2, so I guess it was a competitive game, but Tulane has not been a monster team this season, and I don't know. I'm finding a hard time making excuses game after game here for the Memphis Tigers. They don't have a reliable leading scorer. They're 270-something at the nation in total offense. Their rebounding numbers are okay, I guess, but their defense is not all that, and they're just not having a very good time, not even in a very tough conference. Like, this is a down year for the American. Tulsa is on top of the American Conference standings right now with an 8-2 record. Like, I don't know who you're really supposed to be that frightened of in this conference. So we'll see if Memphis can get anything done here on the road against UAB. The Blazers also not having a great season. They're 14-8 overall. They're 5-4 in conference play. They have won back-to-back games, winning at UTSA and at North Texas. So I guess that's something positive. They've beaten Tulane here, beat them pretty handily earlier this season, but losing to Tulsa, losing to South Florida. It hasn't been an easy year. Chance Westry leads this team with 15 points and 4.5 assists per game. They're 85th in the nation total offense. Their pace of play has led to some pretty good rebounding numbers as well, and their defense has maybe taken a step in the right direction this season. So I guess I have to give them a little bit of credit, but this is not a UAB team that we've seen like in seasons past where they were very close to the top of the standings here in the American Conference. So we'll see what they can do here. They are at home. We've got a total of, and UAB is 1.5 point favorites. We got a total of 153.5. Memphis is only 1-6 against the spread on the road. They're 11-10 to the under. UAB is 5-6 against the spread at home. They are 12-9 to the under. Not too interested in this total. I will be leaning towards UAB here, though, playing at home. They've been such a better home team than what we've seen from Memphis on the road. I mean, 1-6 against the spread on the road is pretty brutal. That seems like it's a real issue here and not just some sort of statistical aberration. I will take the Blazers here playing at home. You can take them on the money line, you can take them -1.5. Either way makes plenty of sense to me. I do think the Blazers are the side you want in this one. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets, and to say thank you to me for recording. Very under the weather. As usual, we got a cough drop in right here trying to keep us from having coughing fits during these videos. So all those thumbs up are very much appreciated. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. We are on the road to 100,000 subscribers this year. It takes every single one of you guys. Let's see if we can make this dream a reality. Let me know in the comments any questions that you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I at least read, if not read, and respond to every single comment I get. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you're clicking the link in the description. Get over there to stumpthespread.com. Check out those red hot NHL picks. Definitely not something you want to miss out on there. Check out those crazy, super high value golf picks that have been coming out every single week with the PGA Tour going on. You'll find those in the email newsletter, as well as tons and tons of other great sports betting information. So definitely get in on that. And guys, we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Same time, same place for more sports betting action.